Hi, I'm Dr. Buddy Mendez. I'm a professor of psychology here at Concordia University. Been here for 20 years, believe it or not. And I'm also the first in my family to have gone to college and graduated from college. And I'm here to talk to you about some tips that I've learned through my experience that may help you to support your student here at Concordia. So I have 5 tips that I'm going to cover. Number 1 is make education top priority. This is something my parents did when I was younger. They moved from Gardena to Torrance, and the house that they could afford to buy was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, but it was in a good school district. And that's why they made that move, because they valued education for my brother and I. And they've always told us, you know, we're not going to spend money on toys, we're not going to spend money on extras, but we will spend money on education. And it really has paid off for my brother and I. And I have my PhD from Fuller, and my brother graduated from Stanford with an engineering degree. And so we've both achieved quite a bit educationally, and I owe a lot of that to the value that my parents placed on education, even though they only had high school educations. So make it a top priority. The second thing is challenge your student when they're feeling down on themselves. It's very common for students, especially if they're the first student in the family to go to college, to think, I can't make it, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I'm really a fraud, you know, that kind of a thing. Their self-esteem can be low. And as parents, you want to tell them that you believe they can, that you believe they are able, that they wouldn't have been accepted to our school if they weren't able to do well here and to achieve. And so they may say something to you like, you know, maybe I should just go to a junior college. Maybe that's all I'm really cut out for. And if they do that, you want to say, no, you're at a university, you got accepted to this university, you know, you can make it. And I think one of the mistakes my parents made in parenting me is that they didn't push me hard enough. When I graduated from high school, I got accepted to Harvard, and I didn't think that I would be able to make it at Harvard. I didn't think that I was a good enough student to do well there. And my parents said, well, if you don't want to go, you don't have to go. And I know they were loving, and I know they meant well, but really probably what I needed to hear was, you got accepted to Harvard, that means you can succeed at Harvard. So go, do it. You will be able to make it. Yes, it's going to be a lot of hard work, but you're the type of student that can do this. So when your students come to you, you've got to encourage them and believe in them, even maybe more so than they believe in themselves. The third thing is to encourage them to stay on campus for the weekends. They may feel a lot of obligation to come home for the weekends, to attend birthday parties, family events, to help you with parenting younger siblings. And what you want to do is you want to be very clear with them that education is the top priority, and there's many things that they can do on the weekends to help themselves out academically and educationally, and just in terms of their growth as a person. They can catch up on work, they can get ahead on schoolwork. They all have syllabi that tell them readings that they're going to be doing for the next few weeks ahead of time, so they can get caught up on their readings or even get ahead. They can work on projects that may not be due for a while, but they can get started right away on those things. And also they can engage in extracurricular activities that might be offered on the weekends, going to church with friends, being involved in intramural sports activities, being parts of clubs and prayer groups and Bible studies that are going to help them grow as a person and mature as a person, an autonomous person who feels good about their ability to function in a kind of self-reliant way. And so you want to challenge that guilt that they feel about paying attention to themselves and their own personal growth, because now is the time for them to focus on that and to focus on their growth. So if they say, you know, Mom, Dad, can I come home for the weekend? Say, you know, son, daughter, is that really what you want to do? Aren't there some opportunities that you can take advantage of at Concordia on the weekends? And challenging them that way, instead of just saying, well, whatever you want to do. That's too neutral. You really need to challenge them and say, what is there for you at the school on the weekends? So that's really important, and I see that as a big problem with the students that I work with. I'm part of the Wings program. I mentored 2 students last year that were freshmen, And one of the biggest problems was that the guilt drove them to go home, and they were missing out on so many wonderful opportunities on campus on the weekends. The fourth thing is to encourage your student to ask for help. Many of your students may have been very self-reliant in high school and been able to achieve quite a bit on their own. College is a whole nother level. It's a whole, it's much tougher. It's much harder. It requires a lot more work and resources. And at Concordia, we have tons of resources available to your students that they can take advantage of, from tutoring to counseling to career counseling, the mentors and the Wings program, and study sessions. I can go on and on about the services that are available, but encourage your child to take advantage of those services. They don't have to be on their own. They're part of a community, and that's one of the advantages of being at a small private school, is that we are a community and we want to build one another up. And one of the things I think that correlates with somebody dropping out of college is just feeling alone. And we don't want them to feel alone. We want them to feel that they're part of a community. So encourage them to take advantage of all those services. And then lastly, just take an interest in what they're doing. You don't have to necessarily give advice. You don't have to necessarily give guidance. I mean, there's all kinds of services here at Concordia that can do that for them. But be interested. Be interested in what they're doing. Ask good questions. You know, think of yourself as like a newspaper reporter that's got to write a feature story on your child. You know, what classes are they taking? What activities are they involved in? Who are their friends? Who are they meeting? What are they doing? How are they spending their time? And by doing that, you're letting them know that you're on board and you're allied with them in terms of all the wonderful opportunities here at Concordia that they're taking advantage of, and that you're good with that. Because they're so afraid that deep down inside, you want them to be with you, taking care of you at home. They're so afraid that you're not okay now that they're gone. You know, they don't know how happy you are that they're gone. They're afraid, but encourage them to be connected and involved here at Concordia University. Thank you.